Hello, I'm an attending English teacher. Let's get you exam ready. Today, I'm going to teach you how to analyse a poem, and we're going to be reading the poem Falling Leaves by Margaret Postgate Cole. Before we get going, don't forget to like and subscribe. There are plenty of things on the channel to help you learn how to analyse poetry. Okay, let's analyse a poem, Falling Leaves. So firstly, we're going to think about how you actually write analytically about a poem. It's relatively straightforward if you follow my 3 easy steps. Number 1, explain what the poem is about and what we learn from it. So you don't need to explain the whole story, but just quickly and concisely explain what the poem is about. What is this story about? You might talk about who the speaker is, the voice, or if there's a subject, you might mention that. What's the story about, though, in a few sentences, and explore what we learn from it. So you might explore a key theme or the message of the poem, just a couple of sentences about that to explain what it is we can actually take away from the poem itself. Once we've done that, we need to explain the structure and consider the effect of it. If it doesn't rhyme, why might that be? Another thing you might want to choose to explore is the metre. If it's got a regular metre, you'll have a beat that's steady in every line and matched in the next. And if one line is longer than the next one and there isn't a particular pattern, you've got an irregular metre. Now, that's very easy to spot. Does it rhyme, yes or no? Is there a regular metre or is there an irregular one? If you can explore the reasons for that, you're going to be really analytic. So come up with a reason why the poet might have chosen the structure that they have opted for. And when you've done that, the last thing you need to do is start to explore the lines or moments that stand out to you, the ones with the impact, the most effective ones. Think about different things they might mean, or what do they tell the reader? So you can comment analytically on your key moments and think about your own interpretations and ideas. So now let's read the poem. This is The Falling Leaves by Margaret Postgate Cole, and we've got this little introduction before the poem gets going that tells us that this was set in November 1915, so the context is World War I. I'll read the poem to you and then we're going to think about how we could analyse this poem. Today as I rode by, I saw the brown leaves dropping from their tree in a still afternoon, when no wind whirled them whistling to the sky, but thickly, silently they fell like snowflakes wiping out the noon, and wandered slowly thence, for thinking of a gallant multitude, which now all withering lay, slain by no wind of age or pestilence, but in their beauty strewed like snowflakes falling on the Flemish clay. So that's a war poem from World War I. It's an observation about the scale of death and loss of life. So that is The Falling Leaves by Margaret Postgate Cole. We're now going to think about how we can follow my 3 steps to talk about this analytically. So the first thing, reminding you that we're going to do is explain what the poem is about and what we learn from it. So let's hear from me. What is it that I would say about this poem? Well, the poem is about the death of soldiers during World War I, and in the poem, the young men who lost their lives are compared to falling leaves. That's relatively straightforward. It's about World War I, and the falling leaves are something that are likened to the soldiers who lost their life. Many, many soldiers, a multitude. The poem makes us see war as tragic and tries to encourage the reader to think further about the scale of loss. So that's my very quick introduction. In fact, I've only got 2 sentences there, but I've explained what the poem's about and also how it might make us feel or what it might be trying to teach us or make us consider further. So that's how we begin. The next thing that we need to do is explain the structure and consider the effect of it. I've said to you, if it doesn't rhyme, why might that be? Let's hear from me. What would my response be? Well, the poem doesn't have a rhyme scheme and has an irregular metre. This could reflect the confusion felt by the speaker as they tried to make sense of the pointlessness of war. The structure also reflects the irregular but constant falling of leaves and therefore the soldiers dying in battle. So I've actually said 2 things there. 1, war is chaotic, confusing, maybe senseless. So this lack of rhyme, the lack of the regularity in the metre could reflect this sense of confusion, but also leaves fall in an irregular pattern, and maybe that's reflected by that structure too. So that's my exploration of the structure. Once I've done that, I'm on to my 3rd job, and that's something that I will do as much as I can. I think of as many different moments as I can do to show my analytical understanding of the poem. So a reminder that we are writing about the lines or moments that stand out and what different things might mean or tell the reader. So here's my response to that. The poem makes war seem unnatural. The soldiers were slain by no wind of age or pestilence. This metaphor reflects the idea that the deaths of the soldiers was unnatural, and therefore reflects the idea that war itself is an unnatural act. So there's the poem. If you really want to take this further, one of the things you can do is see if you can write your own first 2 paragraphs. So one, writing about what the poem is about and what we learn. The second one would be about the structure and the effect of it. So can you remember those 2 steps? Write your own paragraph down to aid your memory. And then after that, I've analysed one of these moments. We've thought about that line, slain by no wind of age or pestilence. Can you choose 2 or 3 more moments to analyse to show your understanding and your ideas about the moments in this poem? Okay, check out the other videos on my channel. I'll continue to add content. Feel free to ask for something you'd like to see me cover in the comments section. Don't forget to like and subscribe and share, and keep revising.